If one of your 2026 tax forms looks wrong, you could be reporting thousands of dollars incorrectly and possibly paying too much tax or inviting an audit. Stay with me for the next 12 minutes. This narration will give the exact step-by-step triage, the email and phone scripts you should send to marketplaces in your CPA, and the low-effort monthly routine that makes this stop happening next year. Here's the quick promise. By the end, you'll know what the federal rules require for Form 1099K and 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC in 2026, why platforms are still spitting out wrong or duplicate forms, a fast visual triage workflow to accept, dispute, or reconstruct every problem 1099, and the exact email subject lines and supporting documents that get platforms to correct things, plus what to do if they don't. Quick disclaimer, this is educational only, not tax or legal advice. Always confirm specifics with IRS guidance, your tax professional, or the platform. Start with the law. Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill and it restored the Form 1099K reporting threshold to $20,000 and more than 200 transactions. That change was signed into law on the 4th of July 2025, and the IRS confirmed the rule in FAQs and a fact sheet in October of 2025. That means the $600 reporting idea from earlier proposals was reversed federally, at least for the 1099K threshold. Meanwhile, the law also increased 1099 NEC and 1099 MISC thresholds to $2,000 for payments made in 2026. Now here's an important point. The IRS frequently asked questions explicitly tells taxpayers to keep accurate records whether or not a payer sends a 1099. The key takeaway, do not assume no 1099 means no tax. The IRS expects you to report income you received. Later, I'll explain when you should use the 1099 the platform sent and when you should rely on your own records. Why are platforms still sending wrong, late, or duplicate 1099 seconds? Between 2022 and 2025, different platforms made different choices. Some voluntarily issued 1099 Ks at the lower $600 idea to be conservative. Others delayed issuing while waiting on final guidance. Technical hurdles like matching taxpayer IDs, know your customer gaps, and legacy systems caused duplicates and late corrections. And some businesses decided it was safer to report more data than less to avoid penalties. Watch for 3 common behaviors. First, some platforms issued 1099 seconds under the old lower thinking threshold. Second, some issued duplicate 1099 seconds, meaning 2 forms that cover overlapping payments. Third, some didn't issue any 1099 even though you had reportable income. A fourth special case is platforms that included refunded transactions or transfers that aren't taxable receipts. A fast trick to tell which category you're in. Export your last 12 months of bank deposits and the platform's CSV, then sort by date and transaction ID. That export is the backbone of the reconciliation worksheet you'll build next. Now for the fast visual triage workflow. Create a simple worksheet with 3 columns. IRS reported total from your 1099, your reconciled total assembled from bank records, platform CSVs, and invoices, and a third column for discrepancy line items. The 4 triage categories are mismatch, duplicate, missing, and over-reported refunds. If you have a mismatch, IRS total does not equal your total list out transaction level differences, such as refunds, fees, transfers to other accounts, or bank transfers that are not income. Example, a 1099K shows $12,450, while your reconciled gross receipts show $9,200 with $3,200 in customer refunds. Put those refunds as line items that reduce reportable receipts. If you can show timestamps and transaction IDs proving refunds, you can ask the platform for a corrected form. If you have a duplicate, sometimes platforms or intermediaries issue both a 1099K and a 1099 NEC, or 2 1099Ks from different payers report the same deposits. In your worksheet, show overlapping transaction IDs and mark the overlap. If duplicates exist, you must either get corrected forms or prepare a reconciliation that shows the IRS totals double count the same deposits. Quick rule of thumb: if the same transaction ID appears on two forms, that's a duplication red flag. Add a duplication column that subtracts the overlap from the IRS totals. If a form is missing, you have reportable receipts and no 1,099. Do not panic. The IRS expects you to report income regardless. Export bank CSVs, platform payout CSVs, and customer invoices. Build the same worksheet and label the form status missing. Document your attempts to get a form. If the payer refuses by mid-February, the IRS historically suggests contacting the payer first and then the IRS information reporting line for guidance. The over-reported refunds case is common. Platforms sometimes include gross payments before refunds or treat funds moved between personal accounts as reportable. Your reconciliation should flag refunds and returns with timestamps and customer refund IDs and subtract them. If a 1,099 includes refunds, you need documentation to request a correction. Next, how to accept, dispute, or reconstruct step by step. Accept the 1,099 if your reconciled total matches or the differences are explained by fees you intentionally left out. Still save the worksheet as your audit paper trail. If the 1,099 is wrong, dispute it with a concise email to the platform's tax or support team. Use this subject line: request for 1,099, correction tax year 2026 discrepancy with platform records. Use this email body as a script you can copy and paste. Hello, I received form 1099K or 1099 NEC for tax year 2026, showing IRS total dollars. My internal reconciliation shows your total dollars. I have attached a one-page reconciliation table with transaction IDs, dates, gross amounts, and refund IDs. Please confirm whether you will issue a corrected 1,099 or provide a written statement that no adjustment is necessary. Requested response within 10 business days. Attachments: platform CSV export, representative bank CSV rows, reconciliation worksheet, and sample invoices. Thank you. If first-line support does not escalate, respond with, please escalate to tax compliance or 1,099. Reporting, I need an acknowledgement for my records. If no correction arrives by mid-February, call the IRS information reporting line and have your reconciliation ready. If the platform refuses to correct, reconstruct your income report using your reconciled totals. Prepare a cover statement to attach to your return, showing your reconciliation and the record of request to the platform. If the platform supplied a 1,099, that overstated income, include your reconciliation showing refunds and duplicates. That documentation is critical for audit defensibility. Important nuance about Form 4,852. Form 4,852 is explicitly a substitute for missing or incorrect W-2 seconds and Form 1,099R. The rules around using Form 4,852 for other 1,099 series like 1,099K are less straightforward. The safe approach is to follow IRS guidance. Contact the payer first, document your attempts, and contact the IRS information reporting line if unresolved. Many practitioners recommend attaching a detailed reconciliation statement to the return and filing on time rather than delaying. If you must contact the IRS, call the information reporting line with your worksheet handy. Be ready to provide the payer name, EIN, dates you contacted the payer, and your reconciliation summary. The IRS can sometimes nudge a payer, but they will not create a corrected form for you that's up to the payer. If you receive a CP 2000 notice later, your reconciliation worksheet and contemporaneous requests are your best defense. How this affects withholding and estimated payments. If you're a W-2 employee with side hustle income, side hustle net profit is subject to income tax and self-employment tax. That can increase your tax bill and trigger underpayment penalties. A quick estimate: start with gross side receipts, subtract a conservative expense ratio, compute net profit, Calculate self-employment tax at roughly 15.3% on net earnings and estimate income tax at your marginal rate. Add SE tax and income tax, then divide by 4 for quarterly payments. Example calculation, $12,000 gross side receipts, 30% expenses, leaves $8,400 net. Self-employment tax at 15.3% on $8,400 equals about $1,285. Income tax at 22% is about $1,848.